Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. We're on day number 44. It's been such an amazing journey showing up here and learning with all of you every single day. And so today I thought I'd kind of take you back down into a trip down the memory lane. Sorry for the word mix up. But, anyways, let's take a trip down into the memory lane for me because I wanted to share with you one of the questions that really got me started on this journey of being a coach, being a writer, being a trainer, and being this person who shows up here every single day on YouTube to talk to you at 8:30 p.m. and to help you get more clarity in your life. So the thing that motivated me to start this, believe it or not, was a very different kind of question. Now, you may consider it a bit rude, you may consider it a bit offensive, but I believe we have this bond, so I can share the question with you and you'll understand it comes from a good place and a good intention at heart. And the question was, why do so many smart, successful, capable, talented people end up making such weird, stupid, and wrong decisions in their life? I mean, the pattern was so clear. It was like a glaring mirror image that the more the person was growing in their life, the more the person was doing different things, the more they were getting stuck. The more knowledge someone had, the more their irrational fears had risen up. In fact, if you looked at the data and if you looked at the way people thought, college kids and people who had graduated from college had a much bigger sense of irrational fears and anxieties and worries than 5 year old kids who were not making any money, who were not doing anything, who had no education. And so over time, I started to think and I started to wonder, where do we really go wrong? Where does the problem happen? Because if you think about your childhood and if you think about any young kid around you, okay, so think about a 5 year old kid or a 3 year old kid or a 2 year old kid that you know around you in your family, in your friend circle, and think about the last time you spent time with that kid, not just like a few moments, but a considerable amount of time. And now think about the parents of that kid or the family that the kid was surrounded by. And of course, you notice the glaring image instantly. On one end is the kid who's like always happy and smiling and just doing random stuff. I mean, the kid is excited to do anything and everything. He'll throw some tantrums also, but that's okay, right? That's the natural part of being a kid. But you look at the parents, you look at the adults, and they're just worried about the problems of life. They're just sitting there wondering, when will my job really become stable? When will I really be able to save enough to go on that one Maldives trip that I've been dreaming of? When will I finally stop arguing with my husband or my wife? When will our family matters get solved? When will this happen? When will that happen? What if people judge us? What if this? What if that? And so many questions, worries, fears, and irrational problems that don't exist anywhere except inside the person's head. And the thing is, the child is not smart, the child has no idea what the world is. The child is not mature, but the child is happy and the child is living the real life. And here are the mature adults, the aware adults, the uh, educated adults, if we can say, and yet they are living a life of misery, not because their life is miserable, but because their head and the story inside their mind is telling them that it is, and that is ridiculous. I mean, that's the creating a big gap and creating a big barrier on your own potential and your own success before you even explore it, before you even give yourself a chance to just go out there to make things happen, to fail, to try, but to be like a kid who can experiment and grow every single day. We lose out on that ability. And then we are wondering, I have so much talent, I have so much potential. Why am I not able to use it? Well, this is exactly why you have stopped believing in it. You have stopped being the person who can be your biggest cheerleader and who can take you on to the next level and the next level and the next level above and beyond in your life. But other people are doing that for you while you are putting yourself down thinking, me, will I really be able to do it? What if it works out? What if it doesn't work out? And then you're just sitting there wondering why things are not happening. You know what? I don't get frustrated very easily, and I have a very, very calm attitude. But the one thing that really just bewilders me is when I see smart people, capable people, talented people who have everything in the world, who can do anything and everything, and who can literally, who have such amazing ability that if they were to go out or start a business, or if they were to apply for a great job, or if they were to do something or the other just to experiment and to grow, they'd succeed like this. But rather than doing it, their mind is what's holding them back. Their mind is what is creating the problem. Their mind is what is creating these old stories and the barriers inside their heads. And so, the key to unlocking your true potential, the key to breaking through this barrier inside you that's always holding you back, no matter how capable you are, no matter how smart you are, it's still holding you back. Today, you're going to learn how to break through it and how to become the person who can be a mature adult, a smart adult, a creative adult, a successful and strategic adult who also has the ability to dream like a child, to play like a child, and to live full on like a child. That is when you unlock your true potential, not just by maxing up on the adult side and killing the child within. It's the balance between the both that truly gets you going, and that gives you the growth, and that gives you the results you want. Now, the question is, why do we kill the child within first? This is the crazy part, but this is something, once you understand it right, you are gonna be someone, and I can say this with a very strong sense of conviction because I've seen it happen in my life. And that is, you will never be able to dream small again. I'm telling you, dreaming small will become a thing of the past the day you can understand why you've killed the child within in the first place. So, if you're ready for that, let's begin that discussion. Because as we grow up through our childhood and our adulthood, the one thing we look for the most is love and belonging. We need that. We need that connection. We are humans, we're social animals. Without that love and connection, we just cannot survive. But now think about it this way: if you're given two choices and you're a 9-year-old kid and things at home are not so good, and your friends are all around you, and your teachers are saying that if you want to be a good student, you have to think this way, you have to be this way, and the world is just boxing you in on all of these things, in that moment, the child still has the ability to be quirky, to be different, to be bold, to be rebellious, to be the person that they want to be. But will the child choose that, or will the child suppress that part within and just focus on what gets him love, attention, and belonging? Well, because we need these things as children, that is what we go towards. That is what we gravitate towards. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way we are. And so, right now, if today you're someone like you're not being able to take action on your ambitions, it's probably not because you don't want it bad enough. You do. The thing is, your internal energies are just not aligned, because of which your own ambition scares you. Why? Now, this is the crazy part. As a child, you killed your crazy dreams. As a child, you suppressed your craziness because you wanted to fit in and belong. As an adult, you're doing the same because deep down, you know, if I become too successful, I would grow bigger and stronger than my circle, and I might lose the people who matter to me. I might lose the people who support me. I might lose the people who sympathize and struggle with me. But I don't want to stop relating to them because they give me love, they give me belonging, they give me safety. What we call the fear of being judged, what we call what will people say, what will people think. This is it. It's not that you don't want to be successful. It's not that you don't think you can be successful. You know you can. What's holding you back is this idea: if I become too successful, I will lose the people that matter. I will lose the love, I'll lose the belonging. And ultimately, then, because of the way we are hardwired, we prioritize the need of belonging in some way or the other to become successful. Now, I'll give you another example because you might be thinking, well, Prabhsimrat, if that was the case, everybody in the world would be staying where they are. No. For some people, you know how they find love and belonging? They do that by saying, I'm going to be the rebel. I'm going to make so much money. I'm in the circle of the top 1%. And then they go for it. They make it happen. Do they struggle? Do they burn? Do they hurt people? Yes, they do. That's not a healthy way to build relationships. That's not a healthy way to live life. But it gets them what they think they need to get. And so the question here that you really have to think about is, what am I scared of with success? Say this with me, by the way. Try this out, and your body will give you the answer. Think about a crazy, crazy, crazy goal that you have in your mind, okay? Let's say I'll take a crazy goal of me that I want to do a big event with 1 million people in a stadium, okay? Now, the moment I said this out loud to you, my body felt completely normal. My body felt relaxed. My body felt like, yeah, this is going to happen. Doesn't matter now, doesn't matter 10 years later. We know it's going to happen. And so, there, you know what's the funny thing that happens? Because my body can believe it, I know I can make it happen. So, when you're saying your goal, how's your body feeling? Is it relaxed? Is it comfortable? Oh, the jitters are there. The nervousness is there. The discomfort and the constriction and the fear and the worry, all of that stuff's rising up. Well, if the second case is there, ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing as a result of me being successful? What would really be the loss that I'm getting if I let the child within me dream again? If I stop caring what the world said, and if I focus on who I want to be and the kind of life I want to live? A bit of a hard question to know. I know that it's a bit of a hard question to ask, but here's the magic that happens the moment you ask this question. You break the shackles, you break the cage, you break the chain, you break the negative thoughts that are holding you back, you break the doubt, the uncertainty, the worry, the stress, the tension, all of that which you've considered a normal part of adult life. And you become the person who can be highly ambitious, who's chasing goals, who's doing things, who's making everything happen, but at the same time, you're happy and relaxed and fun filled and excited like a child. I mean, it's a paradox ultimately. It is a paradox. But if human beings are not a paradox, what are they? If love exists, so does hurt. If happiness exists, so does sadness. If success exists, so does failure. In fact, if life exists, so does death. Nothing is permanent in this world. So, what are you really afraid of? What is it that you will really lose out on if you go and play full out? Because it's not that the potential is not there, it's not that the success ability is not there. You're probably too scared of the person you will become when you really go and play all out. You're scared of the things you might lose out on. And ultimately, that's the question you have to ask yourself. What really matters to you? If and okay, I've given you career examples. Now I'll give you a crazy example in terms of relationships, because again, we don't consider goals and success in that area, yet that is the most important area of our lives. Now, if there's a couple and if they have a wonderful relationship between them, but they're living by the world standards, then let's say a fight happens or an argument happens, and the husband says, "You don't love me like you used to before." And then she's like, "What happened? I do love you. There's nothing wrong." And the way he is approaching it is not from the lens of their relationship. It's from the lens of what his friends have told him. Oh, this is how a relationship should be. It's from the lens of what movies have fed into his head, like a constant story of what your wife should do when you're disappointed, all of that stuff. At the same time, women suffer the same experience when their men don't meet their expectations, when they're like, no, there's no good man out there. There's no emotionally available men out there. All of that's a lie. That's not true. There are successful marriages, there are successful couples, there are beautiful relationships that exist. As a coach, I've seen them, I've created them, I've rekindled them as well. My question here is, whose marriage do you want to live? Whose life do you want to live? Whose relationship do you want to live? The movies, the worlds, the stories, or yours? The one that you choose, the one that is your responsibility, the one that you connect with. But there, you have to have the courage to let go of what the world is expecting from you, to let go of what's normal, to let go of what makes you fit in. Because the moment you let go of what makes you fit in, you start to belong, not to the world, to yourself. And that need for love and belonging, that truly gets fulfilled. You know, I've read this beautiful thing from Brene Brown. I don't know if I've shared this before. I might have, but this sentence deeply sits close to my heart, and you'll know why I say that. She said The opposite of belonging is not standing out, it is fitting in. Because the moment you lose yourself for the sake of fitting into someone else's story or life or expectation, that's not belonging, that's compromise. So ask yourself this: what do I really want? A compromised life where I fit into other people, or an all out life for me where people may not understand, people may not see what I'm up to, but I'm okay with that because I believe in my strength, my potential, and my growth. I've personally chosen to live that life. And from my experience, I can tell you it's a pretty exciting ride. It's fun, it's joyful. It's amazing every single day when you get to live your passion, when you get to do the things that you know you deserve, that you know are the best. And so that's the question I want to leave you with today. What is really your fear? What is really that's holding you back? What are you afraid of losing? And is it really that big of a deal? Or is it just this false sense of belonging that you keep holding on to because you're too afraid of being way too successful? Remove that barrier from your head, and you will be amazed at the magic you create. And I'll see you tomorrow once again for the 45th live session at 8:30 p.m. IST exactly. Bye. See you soon. Thank you so much for being here.